Hey there, Colonials. Welcome back to Quickly Colonial. I hope you had a great, safe, and fun Halloween. And I hope today that you've had a very happy All Saints Day. Well, what is All Saints Day? Well, traditionally, All Saints Day was a day to remember officially recognized saints, as well as people who have passed on, who, you know what, they really lived their faith. Now, who are these people? Well, in colonial times, they could be their grandparents or their uncle who was a local clergyman or something like that, somebody who was a good representation and practiced their faith. In modern day, that could be you and I. It could be our parents. It could be our grandparents. Maybe your grandmother taught you how to read your scriptures, or maybe your uncle taught you how to say your prayers, or he was just a really good guy. You know, he really, really, truly lived his faith. The reason that I bring that up is as we go and we think about All Saints Day, sometimes, especially with Halloween and now All Saints Day, sometimes you might go to the graveyard and look for these people. And sometimes while you're in those cemeteries and graveyards, you'll come across a silver spoon. Why? Well, these are considered mourning spoons or feeding spoons. They also had smaller versions that had a small little swoopy handle, and those were called monkey spoons, but it all still had the same purpose. They would hand these out at funerals or at whenever they would go and bury somebody. They would hand silver spoons out as a souvenir, and you might even go to antique stores today and find ones with the person's name engraved on it. Just you can take that home as a souvenir. Sometimes people would leave them on gravestones, and the purpose of that, these feeding spoons or mourning spoons, was so that you could feed that person with love and care and support, even on the other side. And so later on in time, as we further on in time, we hear the phrase "born with a silver spoon in their mouth." Well, that tended to be a richer person, and they received something made of silver. But traditionally, those silver spoons were mourning spoons or feeding spoons. So they took that through time from death and the funerals, and now we've given it to little children and babies, to gift them a spoon. But my dear colonials, that is the purpose. And as time has gone by, I know popularity in the 50s and 60s and 70s and even into the 80s and 90s, you would go to truck stops and find souvenir spoons wherever you went. It's the same idea. It all came from mourning spoons or feeding spoons or monkey spoons to remember our deceased loved ones who lived their faith. My dear colonials, we'll see you next time. Cheers.